with Ivanchuk, and I think he made a draw.
Let me check. Oh no, he lost to Ivanchuk, but not right now. He has just beaten Aryan Tari.
So it was a round ago. And we are watching the game of Jan Nepomniachtchi and Sergei Karjakin. So g3, bishop g2, c4. A typical blitz idea by Jan Nepomniachtchi. Now it will be switched to the English opening, by the way. I believe the position Sergei Karjakin knows very well. Jan has some special idea, not developing his g1 knight, which is a tricky plan. I believe he was okay, not anymore. He was waiting for knight c6 so he can take bishop c6 and then play knight f3. Eventually they reach a normal position of English opening. Bishop f8, a3. You can play a5. That's what Karjakin did, I think, in the previous round. It was not quite the same though. It was rook b1 after which he played a5.
Yes, it was similar but not the same.
It was almost similar but not quite the same. So a5 would allow bishop to... No, this time it's not played. Knight d4 played instead, which is somewhat... Okay, you probably take... No, knight e4. I was wrong.
I think our choice of game was so far all right. Magnus Carlsen has played the Marshall,
which is, well, that's interesting because we tend to believe, I mean, back then Marshall, it's a very nice opening, right? A pawn sacrifice, so on, so on. Well, we are sorry to say, but most of the games on Marshall are actually boring because it's a lot of theory. Both players know, and then in the end, it's a resulting ending with equal number of pawns, slightly better for white usually, and they will make a draw. We don't know if that will be the case.
Yeah, and this blitz, so anything can happen, but for the moment, it's not interesting.
This seems to be far more entertaining, so to speak. So Jan decided, he played knight e4 first before taking the knight on d4, which allowed him to take this knight with the knight, not with the bishop, so he keeps bishop on d2. Well, but Karjakin seems to be very confident in what he's doing. Bishop d5. Later on he wants to play f5, swap the light square bishops, and okay, queen c2. I don't like Nepomniachtchi's position already, but I might be wrong. Queen d7, modest, not pushing f5 that early. So queen d7, bringing the other rook, perhaps rook like
b4 has just been played.
b4 supporting the knight on c5, so that after knight c5, if black takes, pawn can take on c5 with a tempo. And rook a d8, centralization. Queen b2, all of a sudden d4 pawn is hanging. I don't know if Karjakin forgotten about this pawn. The pawn is hanging. f5 or knight a4? Is that a tactical trick or something? Because
Must
I don't
have
see,
been, but
I don't see what
it.
was wrong with taking on d4. That's interesting.
Oh, the d2 bishop would have been hanging in the end because queen d4, bishop takes e4.
All right.
You have to take on d7, and in the end the d2 bishop hangs.
Yeah, bishop e4, rook e4, and rook d2.
Yeah.
Right, it's a nice point. b5 then. Planning for a7, a5. And after missing couple of tempi, after playing queen b2 and back, I'm afraid white has worse position. And b5 is clever move in a way that after knight c5, black gladly takes and he will have a queenside majority. What to do for Jan Nepomniachtchi? Normally he's very resourceful. I mean, he can find some tactics, but what do you find here? It's just that you're absolutely outplayed positionally. e3, Karjakin takes, bishop e3. Okay, now it's a weak pawn on d3, but at least all the white pieces are playing. Knight on a4 is somewhat offside. And we are waiting for another move from Sergei Karjakin.
Rook c8, trying to push c5 at some point as well.
Yeah, and I think to protect the c6 pawn as well, so that, for instance, when he plays f5,
jumps.
in case he plays f5, then swaps the bishops, and he will not have to care for this pawn on c6.
d4, so there
d4.
will be c5 never.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And possibly planning to play knight c5. a5 now, knight b6. So d4 gives black another square to put the knight on. Knight c5 played by Jan Nepomniachtchi. So now queen f7.
Not taken, queen f7.
Oh, that's typical Karjakin positional play. Queen f7. So light square bishops probably coming off. Light square bishop is probably coming off, and then black will have a possibility to put the very nice knight on d5, right? a4 played. a4 played. What do we do? And bishop g2 played already. Bishop g2, king g2.
Yes, the board is a bit slower than the players, but now knight takes a4.
Things are getting simplified. And queen b7, a little move, threatening c5 and threatening a pawn on b4, which was apparently missed by Karjakin. Look, queen a4 and by Nepomniachtchi. Annoying tactical move, right?
Yes,
queen b7, b4 is hanging,
is a double
and
threat.
c5 is a threat. King g1, bishop takes b4, and this bishop can be supported by a7, a5. I would say Karjakin gets a serious winning chance. Also,
So
the rook on
if
e1 is
b1
hanging.
Oh, wait a second, Carson has finished.
Carson
That's a draw.
has finished, and it's a draw, so we were right.
Yeah, for the moment. Rook to c1.
First rook to b1, a5, rook to c1, and queen b5. Yes, and now, well, it's a test to Karjakin's technique, because he is the pawn up, he's better on time. Bishop d2 played by Jan Nepomniachtchi, giving away. No, he's not giving away the pawn. Queen d4 is bishop b4. Might be hard to win if possible at all.
Yeah, that rook endgame with only a c6 pawn, but that's what
Karjakin went for it. Rook b8, intercepting the file, right? Rook a1, rook b5, I assume. Is that rook b5 he was planning?
Yes,
rook b5,
he goes for it.
queen c3.
Also, Magnus goes there to see this game. Of course, this is the leader, Karjakin, and Magnus only made a draw.
Right, so if Karjakin wins, he can have a sole lead with one last round to be played today. Okay, now they're both down to 20 seconds. And knowing Jan, I mean, anything can happen. He can create a trick out of nowhere. So I would still not completely exclude the possibility for white to win this. It's hard to imagine, of course.
But yes, everything is possible.
It's hard to imagine, but he's very, very tricky. Queen f5, and look how Karjakin plays. He just protects every single thing. Rook a5 now. Very solid. Queen d3. Exchanging queens. So rook c2.
Rook c7.
Rook
more
c7
solid.
is
too passive, maybe. And rook
I don't know what's the move. What kind of a move that was?
No, he can't improve this position. I don't think this.
Yeah, how do you break through? You probably try to bring the king somewhere, but you cannot really. Check, and then more checks. You try to bring the king over to b6, I assume. Or rook c6, king b5. You actually do improve. Look, if there's one more check.
By bringing the king to the queen side.
Rook a1 is a nice move, by the way. Rook a1 is the nice move. No, this game will be played. Will be played on and on. King f4, rook b5. I thought rook b4, but a7 was a7 was hanging. f3. Isn't this king? Come on. It looked like the king was almost caged here on f4. So now one rook goes to f4. Pardon, on c5, and go to other rook to b4. Rook a4 is needed. g5. less and less pawns on the board. Still chances to win for Sergei Karjakin. King b5 was not a bad move, I think, and maybe still is. Maybe still is. King b5. Play king b5, Sergei.
Do you think he listens to us?
Yes, he should.
Check. King goes back, and
Rook
now
d7.
one rook less.
Yes, swapping a pair of rooks. Rook f5, king c6, and white king happens to be cut.
Cut.
a4, rook b5. I think rook b5 win. No, rook c8. And once again, yes, Karjakin is simply not in time. The king is cut. He's, well, is he in time? No, not really. And then you play king a4. You play king b4, which is also fine. Now black is winning. Also, Nepomniachtchi is very short on time. Why he plays this move?
I don't understand why
I don't
he did
understand
this.
what he's
Didn't
doing.
make much sense. Nepomniachtchi resigns, so the sole leader is once again Sergei
Once again,
Karjakin.
Sergei Karjakin